Hey, welcome back. Dr. Dart here. This is a follow-on to the video that I published a couple days ago on boundaries. Someone asked one of the best questions I've seen in a long time, very specific. How do I set boundaries with a yeller, with someone who screams at me? One of the things about being in a toxic relationship is that the pervasive lie that you live with is that you somehow have to respond to the narcissist. And the truth of the matter is you do not. You have a choice. And remember, here we are focused on emotional abuse. If there is physical abuse, you need to be connected with domestic violence intervention services or similar in your area. You need to have a safety plan, and some of the ways that you respond might be a little bit different. But in this case, if you are being screamed at, the first thing to recognize is that a basic boundary to protect yourself may be that you don't engage. With the trauma, the traumatic stress that's experienced in a toxic relationship, when this person screams at you, you probably just want to cower and go into yourself, or it brings up the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. It could be any of those things, right? You could freeze, you could try to placate them and win them over, or you could simply look at the narcissist and say, stop. It's probably not going to stop them, and that's fine. You're simply asserting your boundary. If they continue to yell, stop. I would love to hear what you are saying to me, but I cannot hear you when you're yelling at me. Again, if they continue, stop and turn around. It's not storming out of the room. It's just kind of quietly saying, I can't hear you when you're screaming at me. Turn around and leave the room. If they follow you, go into the room, close the door, do not respond. If you leave the house, go for a walk, whatever you need to do. So our boundaries begin with emotional boundaries that we communicate, and then oftentimes they need to go to a physical boundary. But please, it always starts with the fact that as much as the narcissist would like you to believe that you have to do what they want you to do, that you have to not just respond, but respond in the way that they want you to respond, it's the big lie. You do not have to respond. So come on back. We're going to do little snippets of boundaries so that you have time to digest it, think about it. Remember, before you begin to assert a boundary with anyone else, you want to be solid with yourself as to what that boundary is so that you can be consistent. So take your time with this. The bottom line of boundaries is that we are not doing this to try to force the other person's behavior to change. With a narcissist, it's not going to change. Secondly, think of a boundary as you are stepping back rather than pressing in to protect yourself. And then we'll talk more in the next boundary about once you have determined what your boundary is and you're ready to communicate that, how to do that. And again, how that other person responds is their side of the street. You're not responsible for their response. You're not responsible for their feelings. So be patient with yourself. Boundaries are, they're complex. They seem simple on the surface, but they're not. And they are foundational to healthy relationships. So one day when you are no longer in a toxic relationship, or if you have already left, this is just as important as if you are still there and being subjected to this. Boundaries are essential. Thanks for being here today. Do something nice for yourself. Go out and make it a great day for yourself. Take care, and I'll see you back here real soon.